In 2023, the Belize Police Department recorded 499 cases of domestic violence between the months of April and June. This year, during the same period, the department recorded 396 cases. That represents an 8% dip in the number of cases recorded.
Well, I'm not going to celebrate the decline in domestic violence cases because there are many women and children out there who are being violated every day. And they are not coming forward because they fear the perpetrator, or in some cases the perpetrator is the breadwinner. And so these women suffer in silence. So it is not an indication to say that it is done, because the truth is we do have a number of domestic violence cases every day. It's just that many a times the women do not want to go beyond telling the police in some cases because they know we're going to arrest. They don't even want to give a statement.
The statistics show that while the number of domestic violence reports increased by 3.3% in April compared to April of 2023, the number of reports decreased in May and June of this year. Belize City shows the highest number of recorded cases during the same period for both years. According to Starla Bradley, the director of the Women and Family Support Department, there are several victims of domestic violence who are receiving assistance where shelters are available.
We do have families that we are supporting in this regard.
Many?
I would say in each district we do have several. Yeah. And it's hard though, because it's sometimes for them to get to this point where they actually leave and stick to the program, it's not usually the first time. You know, they would have tried to leave on several occasions or maybe exhausted other options before coming to us.
The Women and Family Support Department is not the entity that runs the shelters. They are the responsibility of community-based organizations. However, the department assists victims in accessing safe spaces for up to 21 days. Thereafter, the department provides food and rent allowance to restart their lives.
Once someone needs to access that emergency service, we are the ones, it's through this department that we work with those agencies to place them in the shelter for safety reasons. Shelters have rules as well. It's difficult because once you're in the shelter, you cannot leave for a period of time.
Can't work?
Some persons work, and that's a challenge, right? So we generally have to work with clients to see if they have family members. Sometimes we're able to secure housing for them, and we provide support in that regard. Food assistance, rent assistance. We work with legal aid where we can for legal services.
Minister of Human Development, Dolores Baloramos Garcia, is of the view that incidences of domestic violence continue to occur despite a decrease in reports. She says that domestic violence comes in all different forms, and there must be a strong message of zero tolerance to perpetrators.
There has to be an encouragement not to remain silent. If you know your neighbor, if you know your sister, your brother, your auntie, somebody, and I'll tell you, from way back I can remember I gave a speech at the YWCA, and there was actually this man who was suffering very bad domestic violence from his partner because his partner was very aggressive. She used to tell him all kind of thing, verbal abuse. You know, there can be the issue of what we call gaslighting. You know, we know the term, like you try to tell somebody, this is what you are, and you know, you're good for damn nothing, and that kind of thing. And you can actually gaslight somebody, and all of that has to do with domestic violence.
The minister explained that Belize's laws now include an occupation order and a tenancy order that hold domestic violence perpetrators responsible for their role in the home, even when they have been ordered to leave the home setting.
An occupation order is that the court can actually, the magistrate court or the family court, can actually tell a partner who has been abusive, come out of the house. You know, in other words, You tell the person you can't be under the same roof,
Even if they own the house
even if they own the house.
and is the breadwinner?
And the breadwinner. And that's why you have what is called, I don't know how much it actually happens, but the provision is there in the law. Now, that is why you also have what is called a tenancy order. Because the person might come out of the house and say, well, all right, I don't want to pay no more rent because you put me out of the house. The court can actually tell the breadwinner, continue paying the rent. So that is...
In their absence.
Yes, even in their absence. And it really, I believe, would only be used in extreme circumstances, but the law does make a provision for it.
Baldo Ramos Garcia says that while the definition of the section of the domestic violence legislation says that partners in a domestic union must be a man and a woman, the actual section of the law says whoever you occupy a home with. This is a matter for the court to interpret where domestic violence occurs in same-sex unions. Reporting for News 5, I'm Marion Ali.